I would say is education changes is the key to India. Comparative religion should be there, just as the Christians are doing a study of, for example, in Bangalore, they're studying Vedanta and what they can pull out for their own benefit. So there needs to be a Hindu critique of the other religions, and that should be acceptable in the academic realm because you have Islamic and Sikh and other critiques are allowed, but not Hindu. So that's a very important thing to take up, and comparative religion overall and understanding of the history. I think more will be done now. I read a few days ago that Amit Shah said history of India has to be rewritten from an Indian point of view, that he's someone who generally indicates that something is going to get done. And we have to consider that that education is very important for national identity, national security, and also prosperity. Because if the narrative you teach your children about your country is negative, what does that inspire them to do? It turns them into a fifth column inside your country. It doesn't motivate them to be inspired to raise the culture more. So I think those changes in any case are going to be done. But we do encourage them to go forward, rewriting of history. Then I don't like the term rewriting. I would say correcting history. Because what's happened is India today is probably the only country in the world in which the colonial narrative against it has not been changed. Remember, we had this very negative colonial narrative about Africa. You had a very negative colonial narrative about the Islamic world. You had it about the Native Americans. You had it about the Polynesians, so many groups. So it's time to get rid of that. What happened is the Marxists perpetuated the negative colonial narrative, dressing it up under their garb of, leftist values or leftist concerns. So instead of the British being the enemy, the Hindus became the enemy. And instead of the independent India having freedom, they felt a need to keep the independent Hindus suppressed. Hindus are a majority. Don't they deserve a country?
Yes,
Democracy is majority rules, and yet we're told that Hindus were under minority rule for centuries, and then when they become independent, Hindus are majoritarian, they're oppressors, and they shouldn't be allowed to rule. The hypocrisy is there. So these changes must be made long term, and they must come into the educational system.